Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a really foundational text, one that a lot of people say basically holds a blueprint for success and, well, wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It came out of this incredible, 20-year research project.
That's right. And it's not just some academic theory, It's a philosophy pulled together from looking at over 500 really successful, wealthy people.
Wow. 500.
Yeah. So our goal today, for you listening, is to sort of unpack the core ideas, maybe some surprising bits, and the stories that make this stuff stick.
And hopefully help you figure out what it is you really want, right? And maybe how Hill suggests you can actually get there.
Exactly. What it takes.
Okay, so where did this whole thing even begin? It wasn't just Hill sitting down and writing, was it?
No, not at all. The story goes his journey really kicked off with a challenge, a prompt from Andrew Carnegie.
The Andrew Carnegie.
The one and only. This was like 25 years before the book came out. Yeah. Carnegie apparently kind of tossed this money-making idea, this secret, into Hill's mind.
Tossed it like a test.
Sort of. Yeah, he wanted it shared with the world, but he needed to see if Hill, had the grit, the understanding to actually see it through. Watched him closely.
That's fascinating. And the results promised were, huge.
Oh, huge is maybe an understatement. I mean, the book claims this formula, let's call it, was worth something like $600 million in one application.
Yeah.
That was the estimated value tied to setting up the United States Steel Corporation.
Seriously?
Yeah. And it was apparently conceived and pushed through by Charles M. Schwab, who was young at the time, specifically to demonstrate that Carnegie's concept actually worked.
So Schwab used the formula to create U.S. Steel.
That's the claim. A pretty staggering proof of concept, if you think about it. $600 million from an idea.
Absolutely mind-blowing. But it wasn't just about, building giant corporations, was it? The book gives other examples.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. It's full of examples of people using these principles in all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
Creating harmony at home, for instance.
Okay.
There's a story about a clergyman who massively boosted his income, and Arthur Nash, a tailor in Cincinnati.
That happened with him.
His business was nearly bankrupt. He used it as a kind of guinea pig for these ideas, turned it around, made a fortune. And even politics. Jennings Randolph apparently used the principles to help him become a member of Congress.
So it really is much broader than just getting rich. It's about achieving what you set out to do, whatever that might be.
Exactly. Achievement in any area of life.
Okay, so for someone listening right now, how does this actually work? Hill says it's not luck, it's principles, definite principles.
That's the core idea. It's about applying specific, definite principles. And the absolute foundation, where it all starts, is desire. And persistence.
Desire and persistence, the twin forces.
Right. He calls it burning desire. Not just, I wish I had that. It's got to be deeper, more intense.
Like that story about Edwin C. Barnes and Thomas Edison.
Exactly. Perfect example. Barnes didn't just show up hoping for a job. He arrived with this keen, pulsating desire, as Hill puts it.
Pulsating desire, okay.
He wanted to be Edison's business associate. And he basically refused to leave, didn't give himself an out. He mentally burned his bridges.
And it worked.
It worked. His dominating dream, that absolute focus, became reality. It wasn't a casual thing. It was everything.
And then persistence. That ties into the 3 feet from gold story, doesn't it? Are you Darby?
Ah, yes, the classic. He stopped digging, right? Literally gave up just before hitting a massive gold vein, sold all his equipment.
Ouch.
Big ouch. But the crucial part is what he learned. He realized later that desire, when you add persistence, that could be turned into wealth.
So he applied it elsewhere.
He did, to selling life insurance, of all things. Became incredibly successful, apparently making over $1 million a year back then.
Wow!
Just by refusing to take no for an answer. By persisting.
It really makes you wonder, though, what if the obstacle seems genuinely impossible, truly insurmountable?
Well, that brings us to a really powerful personal story from Hill himself. About his son, Blair.
Right. Blair was born without physical ears, essentially deaf.
That's right. Doctors basically said he might never hear or speak properly. Grim prognosis.
Yeah.
But Hill refused to accept it. He deliberately planted this intense desire to hear and talk in his son's mind, along with, unwavering faith that it could happen.
How did that even work?
Well, through years of effort, using bone conduction for hearing, endless speech training, Blair did learn to hear and speak.
That's incredible.
It is. And he eventually turned what seemed like a terrible disadvantage into an asset. He ended up helping thousands of deaf people with hearing devices he worked on.
So Hill uses that to show how belief, plus that burning desire,
Can make this seemingly impossible.
possible.
Yep.
Yeah. It's about the power of the mind, the human spirit refusing to accept limitations.
Okay, this is where it gets, for me, really interesting. Decision. You need the desire, you need the persistence, but then you actually have to decide, to act.
Absolutely. Hill hammers this point home. Prompt, definite decisions are critical. And indecision, he calls it a major, major cause of failure.
And he thinks it starts young, like in our education.
Yeah, he suggests it's often rooted in youth, and that maybe schools don't really teach us how to make firm, definite decisions, how to commit.
Interesting point.
Yeah.
What's the big example he uses for decision?
Well, the most dramatic one is probably the founding of the United States.
The Declaration of Independence.
Exactly. He argues it was born from a definite decision in the minds of initially just two men, Samuel Adams and John Hancock,
Just two.
to start with. That decision then sparked a chain reaction, leading to 56 men signing a document knowing full well it could get them hanged.
High stakes.
The highest. Their decision, fueled by, courage and faith, Hill calls it the spiritual power that ultimately supported Washington's armies and won independence. So a single, firm decision can literally change the world.
That's the implication. It shows the immense power of commitment.
And then there's Henry Ford. Maybe a bit less dramatic, but still.
Still a great example of decisiveness, right? The Model T, okay, maybe it was the world's ugliest car, as Hill cheekily puts it. But Ford built a massive fortune. Why? Because of his firmness of decision, his persistence. He knew what he wanted.
Even when people told him to change it, his advisor.
Especially then. He famously resisted changing the Model T for years, despite pressure. He wasn't easily swayed by opinions. He had made his decision.
He stuck to his vision. Okay, so desire, persistence, decision. Next up is imagination, the workshop of the mind.
Yep. That's where ideas are formed, shaped, hammered out. He'll really believe that thoughts are things.
Thoughts are things, meaning they have real power.
Real power. Maybe even more power than the brain that creates them, in a way. They can be translated into reality. How does that idea land today, you think, with all our focus on innovation and startups?
It feels very relevant, actually. Everything starts as an idea, right? An app, a business.
Exactly. And Hill illustrates this with that enchanted kettle story. Remember that one?
Vaguely. About Coca-Cola.
That's the one. Way back, like 50 years before the book, Asa Candler, a drug clerk, bought a secret formula, paid $500 for it.
Okay. Just a formula?
Just a formula on paper. But it was his imagination that was the real mysterious ingredient. He imagined what it could become.
And turn that syrup into?
Coca-Cola.
The global empire. Yeah. Creating huge wealth, countless jobs, all from imagining the potential in that simple $500 formula. It shows ideas can be turned into their physical equivalent.
Powerful stuff. And often these big achievements, they aren't done alone, are they? Which brings us to the mastermind.
Ah, the mastermind principle. Crucial. Hill defines it as coordinating knowledge and effort harmoniously between two or more people, aiming for a specific goal.
So it's more than just teamwork. It's about harmony. Yes, harmony is key. It's the driving force of coordinated effort. It's not just having smart people. It's getting them to work together in sync.
Like Carnegie, didn't he credit his success to this?
He absolutely did. Attributed his entire fortune to his mastermind group. About 50 key people working in perfect harmony.
50 people.
Wow. And Henry Ford, too. Came from humble beginnings, right? But he rose fast after connecting with other great minds. Edison, Harvey Firestone, Luther Burbank.
So he tapped into their knowledge,
Yeah.
their energy.
He'll believe so. He talked about absorbing their vibrations of thought. Like, when brilliant minds align on a purpose, there's a synergy. The combined energy is far greater.
Like tuning forks resonating.
That's a great analogy, yeah. He even applied it to Mahatma Gandhi, suggesting his incredible influence came from getting millions of people to coordinate harmoniously for a shared goal.
That's a huge scale.
Yeah.
So the group mind is more powerful than the individual.
That's the core idea. More thought energy, more creative power.
Okay, and speaking of knowledge, the book has an interesting take on education, doesn't it? It's not just about going to school.
Not at all. He goes back to the Latin root, educo, meaning to draw out or to develop from within.
Right.
So an educated person isn't necessarily someone with lots of degrees. It's someone who knows how to acquire what they need, knowledge, resources to get what they want in life without, harming others.
So Ford and Edison, with limited formal schooling,
They were highly educated by this definition. They knew how to get and apply specialized knowledge. That's the key.
Through learning or through these mastermind alliances?
Both. Continuous learning, definitely. But also knowing how to tap into the knowledge of others strategically. It's about practical application, not just theory.
He even gives practical steps, right? Like that woman who made a plan book for her son.
Yeah, a detailed plan showing exactly how he could provide value to a potential employer. Result. He got a job and basically got to name his own salary because he demonstrated his worth up front.
Very proactive. Okay, so we've talked about the building blocks. Now, the flip side, what stops people, the obstacles. Hill talks about the 6 ghosts of fear.
These lurking fears in our subconscious. Often we don't even realize they're there, pulling the strings.
He says they're just creations of imagination, but they feel real.
Oh, they can feel incredibly real. And the most destructive one, he argues, is the fear of poverty.
Why that one specifically?
Because it paralyzes reason. It kills imagination. You become afraid to take risks, to even dream big. He even suggests the 1929 Wall Street crash and the Great Depression were, in a way, like a physical manifestation of this widespread fear.
Wow, mass psychology having real-world economic impact.
Exactly. It raises big questions about how collective fear operates.
And then there's the fear of criticism. That sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah. How many people don't pursue something, education, a dream, a goal, because worried about what others will think or say?
Too many, probably.
It just erodes your initiative, your self-reliance. Hill even points out how, like, the fashion industry kind of plays on this fear, constantly changing styles so people feel pressured to keep up, afraid of being criticized for being out of date.
Sneaky. And the fear of ill health. That one seems powerful, too.
Hugely powerful. He quotes a doctor who estimated something like 75% of patients are suffering from illnesses that are primarily imaginary, hypochondria, essentially.
75%. That's huge.
It is. He tells stories about experiments where people were literally made sick just by suggestion. And another about a doctor who apparently helped stop a flu epidemic just by getting newspapers to stop publishing scary headlines.
To stop the fear-mongering.
Yeah. It really highlights that incredible mind-body connection. Our thoughts can genuinely impact our physical health.
Okay, so those are the fears. What about the broader causes of failure? He lists like 30 of them.
Yeah, it's a comprehensive list, but a couple really stand out. We already mentioned indecision.
Right, linked to not learning decision-making skills.
Exactly. Another big one is being susceptible to negative influences. He calls this the devil's workshop.
The devil's workshop sounds ominous.
It is, because it's often subtle. It can come from people who mean well, family, friends, but their negativity, their doubts, can poison your own mindset.
Or just your own negative self-talk.
Absolutely. It's insidious, hard to spot sometimes, because it might sound like practical advice or caution.
But the good news, Hill says, is that we can control something.
Yes, that's the crucial takeaway. You have absolute control over but one thing, and that is your thoughts.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Of course. It takes discipline, habit. He says mind control is the result of self-discipline and habit.
And people who fail, they often know why they fail.
Oh, they know all the reasons for failure, but they cling to them. Hill calls them the 57 famous alibis.
57 alibis, like...
You know the ones. If only I had more time, if I just had more money. Wasn't my fault because... excuses. He argues we invent them to justify failure, and until we stop defending those excuses, we're stuck.
Gotta own it. Okay, so shifting gears a bit, how does all this connect to the broader picture, like the economy? He talks about capital.
Right. He sees capital, organized capital, as this sort of mysterious benefactor of America, the force that provides the freedom and opportunity.
How so?
Well, think about it. Organized capital brings together specialized experts, scientists, engineers, managers, financiers, lawyers, all these brains. And together, they make modern life possible. Everything from, the food on your table to huge industries, roads, technology. It's the engine.
The collective brains driving progress.
Exactly.
And there's a fundamental law at play here, isn't there? The law of economics.
Yes. The basic principle that you can't consistently get something for nothing. Getting without giving, he says, is just unsustainable. It's a law that's more powerful than any person or group.
So the era of just taking the go-getter is over.
That's his argument. It's been replaced by the go-giver. Success, long-term, comes from serving the public, providing real value, whether you're an employer or an employee.
He gives examples like streetcar companies.
Yeah. Industries that initially were maybe indifferent to customers had to change. They had to become service-oriented to survive. If they didn't provide good value and service, people would simply find alternatives. The market demands value.
So the universe keeps score, basically. You get back what you put out in value.
That's the essence of it. America, he argues, provides the opportunity. The freedom is there for anyone honest enough to pursue riches, but it's always in proportion to the value of the service you render.
No free lunch.
No free lunch. The system doesn't promise something for nothing because that underlying law of economics always demands fair exchange. Serve well, contribute value, and success can follow.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for you, the listener. This whole philosophy, it's really a roadmap, isn't it?
It is a mental roadmap.
And it starts with thought. Riches begin in the form of thought. And the only limits are the ones we put on our own minds, but like practically. What does that mean for a Monday morning?
It means taking those big dreams and breaking them down, turning them into definite, concrete thoughts you can focus on, not just vague wishes floating around.
Making them tangible in your mind first.
Exactly. And your journey, Hill would say, starts with deciding exactly what you want. Crystal clear. Then make a plan. Then, crucially, put that plan into action.
And stick with it. Persistence again.
Unwavering persistence, yeah. So the challenge for you, listening, is maybe to do that self-inventory. Look honestly at your strengths, your weaknesses, maybe even use that self-analysis checklist in the book.
And then commit. Definitely commit to pursuing that desire.
That's the call to action.
So reflecting on all this, what really stands out to you is the sheer power of that burning desire, the importance of making definite decisions, or maybe that mastermind idea.
For me, it's often the persistence combined with belief, that refusal to accept limitations, like with Hill's son. But really, all the principles work together, don't they?
They do seem interconnected. The main thing seems to be embrace these ideas. Don't let those ghosts of fear paralyze you.
Right. Which leads to maybe a final thought for reflection. Hill says every failure carries the seed of an equivalent success.
The seed of success within failure.
Yeah. So think about it. What things in your past that you currently label as failures, could they actually be disguised opportunities? Just waiting for you to apply that persistent effort, that definite plan to unlock their real value.
That's a powerful question to leave people with. What hidden seeds are waiting in your past setbacks? Well, we hope this deep dive has given you plenty to chew on, maybe even sparked a new burning desire of your own.
Hope so.
Until next time, keep digging for those nuggets of knowledge.